Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. Growing up watching, and often imitating, much against their wishes, WWE with my stepdad, David Rodriguez, he would often flip the channel whenever he saw the Divas come on. I would protest because even though I didn't get excited about the Divas like my stepdad didn't, I didn't want to miss 1 minute of Raw, or SmackDown, or ECW, or NXT. We rarely cared for TNA, or Ring of Honor. He would often oblige, but often than not, he would change the channel anyway. So, he really didn't care for the Divas. But guess what? I do. So much so that I've got to become overwhelmingly fond of 2 of them. WWE Hall of Famers, both of them former Divas champions, the Bella twins. While I am saddened to say that you won't be seeing them in the center of the squared circle for a while, I am heartened to say that you'll be seeing them center stage in a couple of other instances outside the ring. First, competing on E's Celebrity Game Face with host Kevin Hart, and on an upcoming episode of Eddy on WWE's Biography. All the more reason to highlight my first ever issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, picked up for $2.69 out of a retail price of $6.99. On the cover of the February 2016 issue is the love of my life, Nikki Bella. She's at the pinnacle of the 2015 PWI Female 50 Power Ranking. This issue highlights the top 50 female wrestlers in all of WWE and TNA and Ring of Honor and other independent circuits. With Nikki Bella leading the list and being the cover girl for this issue, the revolution is definitely for real. That's the main event of this particular issue, which we will get to in a little bit. But first, let's highlight some of the features that you'll find in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which really makes this magazine the variety of professional wrestling, or as Nikki Bella calls it, the Sports Illustrated of Pro Wrestling. We have here a book review. It's a biography of Bob Backlund, co-authored by Rob Miller. From All-American Boy to Professional Wrestling's World Champion, writer Mike Bessler gives this auto-bio 4 out of 5 suplexes. If I read this, I would give it 4 out of 5 claps if it was good. Here we have Talkin' Trash, a list of the top 10 wrestling-related items you've been talking about lately, and their gut reaction to each. One of them being Nikki Bella losing her Divas title to Charlotte Flair at Night of Champions after 301 days, breaking AJ Lee's record for the longest Divas title reign. Nikki either lost her motivation after attaining her goal, or she was beaten by a superior wrestler. You decide. An honorable mention, 2 of them in fact, TNA Knockout Madison Rayne marrying commentator Josh Matthews, formerly of WWE, Friday Night SmackDown. If you don't know who TNA Knockout Madison Rayne is, here's a photo. Goodness, see, here's a knockout. They were dead on in saying that the news of Matthews' good fortune filled mild-mannered nerdy guys all around the world with a renewed sense of hope. And here's something a bit odd. A fan gets 10 days in the can after jumping into the ring during Night of Champions. In his or her defense, well, him, he had been playing WWE 2K15 for 8 days straight and thought that an in-ring spot was the final level in the game's highly interactive career mode. He should have waited until the following year, when WWE 2K16 came out, with the biggest roster in WWE video game history, to make his big move, and then get arrested for it. You see here who's who of Hall of Famers, legends, main roster talent, B players, including the man who's celebrating 20 years as a main list player, John Cena. Also featured here, Brie Bella. Gotta give her some love too. I definitely would prefer Nikki over Brie, but I'm smitten with them both, don't get me wrong. Moving on to We Heard That. These are sound bites taken from pro wrestlers. 3 of them WWE, 1 of them TNA. And speaking of TNA, Jeff Hardy, come on man, I like you a lot, but you do know there's no such thing as getting Hardy in jail. Good luck, man. In keeping with the Nikki Bella theme of this review, this is Nikki discussing social media and online negativity from an interview with Channel Guide magazine. It shocks me the rumors people start that I had the title because of my boyfriend at the time, John Cena, who later became her fiancé. If that was the case, I would have gotten the title when I came back years ago and still had the title. He has nothing to do with it. Let's just get this from Jump Street right now. Nikki Bella is not just glorified arm candy. In the ring, she can hold her own. She's borderline vicious in the ring, and her whack attack can put anybody to rest easily. That's why she's one of my favorites. Hell, I even dare say that she's my all-time favorite female wrestler, even though there's a myriad of Hall of Famers who are indeed women. But I'm in love with Nikki Bella, period and out. You might say that there are two reasons that I'm in love with Nikki Bella. And let's just say it's below the neckline. Okay, fine, yes, those two reasons. It's not called the whack attack for nothing, and that's all I'll say on that. But forget about that. There's another third aesthetic reason. The way she wears her fearless baseball cap. I mean, come on. That and her moves in the ring, she just turns me on ever so. For all of that, senior writer Dan Murphy placed Nikki Bella at the top, #1 of PWI's powerful female 50 professional wrestlers. Nikki started off her powerful prowess in the ring against, Naomi. She definitely can hold her own. Yes, alongside her twin sister Brie, they are WWE Hall of Famers, and two is always better than one. Teamwork, people, but Nikki can stand on her own 2 feet and turn a lot of heads. That is, if she doesn't twist them 360 degrees with her power in the ring. This article focuses on her separating the charge in the Divas Revolution, called upon by Stephanie McMahon, and also her time on Total Divas alongside Brie, and plenty of other WWE A-listers in the women's division. Cameron, Eva, Natalia, oh goodness, soaking in the Cabo, Mexico sun. Goodness, that's Nikki at a Total Divas press event or season premiere or something. She also focuses on the critical response from those against Nikki, and of course, the response from the WWE Universe, embracing her with open arms. Here's another photo of Nikki alongside Brie, with Jerry Springer moderating a Bella Twins intervention, unsuccessfully, as did Jerry the King Lawler. A photo of Nikki with then boyfriend, then fiancé, John Cena, Nikki holding the Divas title, and of course losing the title to Charlotte Flair, who shares an emotional hug with her father, Nature Boy Ric Flair, who will soon be coming out of retirement for one final match. Dan Murphy made an excellent decision to place Nikki at the top of the 8th annual PWI Female 50 Professional Wrestlers. All judged upon these qualifications: championships won, quality of opposition, technical proficiency, won-loss records, overall activity, and momentum/promotional push. The information found in parentheses in the following pages beneath each name represents the wrestler's height, weight, years pro, and last year's ranking. That would be the 2014, if I'm not mistaken, PWI Female 50. Nikki Bella in that listing came in number 24. For this ranking, she's number 1, and there's no mystery why. I'm just gonna highlight the top 5 for time's sake. 4 of them WWE vets. One of them in the 4 now belong to TNA. That would be Gail Kim, number 5, who is married to Robert Irvine. Dead or impossible. Nikki Bella's number 1, Paige is number 2, Sasha Banks is number 3, TNA knockout Santana Garrett is number 4. Oh lordy me, she is really a knockout. 5'5", 119 pounds, 6 years as a pro, well, prior to this issue being published, and what was that last piece of info? Last year's ranking, yes. She was number 15 in the year prior to this. And again, Nikki Bella ranked number 24, 5'6", 125 pounds, 8 years as a pro wrestler. Paige, 5'8", 120 pounds, 10 years as a pro, and she was actually last year's number 1 ranking in the female 50. Sasha Banks, 5'5", 114 pounds, 5 years. This is her debut in the female 50. She ranks number 3, bronze medal winner. So we have a mixture of WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, and independent circuits, national and abroad. The NXT effect. The emergence of NXT as a successful touring brand has some of the expense of some of wrestling's independent promotions, who have seen some of their best talent sign deals with WWE. It's not all bad though. This is Al Castle's story. Here you see Triple H greeting a frenzied crowd of 15,589 fans at Brooklyn's Barclays Center for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. With him at the helm, WWE had a powerful force to compete with Ring of Honor as their very own breeding ground for B-list players to become main list roster worthy. I mostly just spotted for Nikki Bella. And because of Dan Murphy's decision to place her at number 1 in the female 50, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 claps. I would give it 5 out of 5 suplexes, but if I were to perform a suplex on this magazine or Nikki Bella, I would end up like that guy who stormed the ring during Night of Champions, imprisoned. It's not worth it, but it was so worth it to pick this up, and hopefully it won't be the last PWI issue I ever find. In summary, y'all know I have a lot of crushes, but I gotta say, Nikki and Brie Bella are definitely Hall of Fame crushes. Quite literally. For watching TSR. Now, to see another awesome review like this one, click here. If you want to become a Hollywood bargain hunter, click here to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the thrift side.